could be no other way. 8:06 a.m. Central Standard Time. New York time, that would be 9:06 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time.
That subway here is
I sit alone.
hard to navigate.
I sit empty in a studio. The desk is empty. I am joined by a producer that I'll introduce in a moment, but it's times like these you wonder, the hell's going on? Is it better that it happens? This is my internal dialogue. The shirt's very baggy now. I remember when it used to be tight. It's my belt loop saying to start the day.
Lack of sugar.
Is it better that it happens? Now we're 2 for 2 on this. Not saying anything, picking on anybody, just stating facts. We're 2 for 2. But we also get the like, oh, my grandma's squirrels had a tummy ache. Be there in a minute. Just happened to happen on Tuesday morning at 20 till. Which is better? My name's Chris Denman. It's We Are Live. We're live from Midcoast Studio in Grand Center, St. Louis, Missouri. Excited to be here. Had a relaxing weekend. Plenty to get to. I've got some new events I want to send Gardner and Travis to. We'll get to that in a moment. I'll introduce Travis. Travis not in yet. The executive producer and stream queen, Chris Gardner. How are you, Guardsy?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Man.
And soon to be, gentlemen. Soon to be. I'm good.
I'm
How are
parking.
you?
That means he's on 170.
Good morning. Good morning, walnuts.
Howdy do to you, Gardner. Gardner, how was your weekend? Did you do
Good.
any urban exploring? Did you get into it? Did you enjoy yourself?
I did stop by the lid to the old River de Pear in Forest Park.
I'm going to see you on the front of the Riverfront Times, and they're going to say, we all saw this coming.
You're welcome. That you get
Potentially-
to be those people.
Potentially scootering homeless man found meddling
Yeah,
with lid to extremely dangerous
I did.
shit ditch.
I did kick it a little, just
Okay.
just in case it's a little loose.
Right.
Then I might have gone down by myself at that point. But I was walking home from the History Museum then, so I couldn't find a scooter in the vicinity. So I had to
What's
walk
that
all
like?
the- I had
What's
to
that
walk all the
process
way
like?
back.
Do you, if you're relatively close and you come upon a scooter, do you say, well, I'm going to finish strong and scoot the rest of the way home? If you're at the final quarter of a mile walk between Forest Park and your apartment, do you get to that quarter mile and say, give me that scooter? Maybe you add on an errand because you found it.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe I run by the Walgreens and grab some toilet paper or something. It just depends.
Right.
It depends on the mood.
Throw it up in the air.
There's no rhyme or reason. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in at that point.
That makes sense.
I'll take it 2 blocks if I have to.
I
take
believe that.
it 2 blocks home from the local watering hole. I'll take it 2 blocks to go to a pizza buffet from here. It just kind of depends.
Do you find that it's more dangerous with the short trips or the long trips?
In what regards?
Life.
Probably those. What? Oh, what's this here?
I think we're being robbed.
What do we have?
There's an angry
What do we have here?
gentleman on a T-shirt
Oh,
that I should be
oh,
worried about.
it's
8:10 a.m.
you
Central Standard
Do
Time.
you know how the chair works? Tommy does it.
That's a fact.
All right, and
We are live.
Can you flash a time stamp up there?
I cannot at the moment.
Well, you need to work on that. I don't know why you disrespect us like that.
Live from New York, it's Travis
They're
Terrell.
not there anymore.
No, I am not.
No, it's not.
No subways this morning, boys and girls.
We thought you were having
Yep.
trouble navigating it.
I tell you what.
There we go.
Okay. Here we go.
No,
There it is.
When you go into, I tell you
Yeah.
what, pause.
All right, he's going to think of something.
Here we go.
All right.
I am just happy to be back in the beautiful city of St.
Oh,
Louis.
it's beautiful now.
I tell you what, I don't think I've ever
you can wake up
Disted or
17 minutes
disrespected.
before you're supposed to be somewhere and still be there relatively on time.
You don't miss Brooklyn Bridge Park at all or anything along those lines?
Beautiful summer days, looking out on the East River.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my boys, we'll go uptown
had
to
boys?
Harlem. Oh yeah.
You went
gotta
to Harlem a lot?
Yeah, you gotta have a singing group.
Got to shake somewhere.
Yeah, or you gotta get in front of a trash can, set it on fire, and sing in front of it. That's the New York way.
I could do that. How was your first full weekend back in St. Louis? Oh.
Not bad.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it, very relaxed. Didn't do much of anything. I actually just retrieved my car, which was in my parents' garage for the last 3 months.
You made it sound like it was stolen.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if it was stolen, I'm certainly
You said retrieved, like
I'm not going out
like
to
it was
retrieve
at the
it.
impound lot or something.
That could be bad. That could be bad.
Oh, that visit. Oh, those visits. That's another story. But no,
Oh, have you had to do that, Gardner?
What?
Retrieve your car from the lot in North City?
Oh, on Hall Street?
mm-hmm.
Yes. Obviously,
think-
when I said, oh, on Hall Street, I think
feel
you knew
like,
the answer.
Yeah, I think everybody at some point will
Actually-
have to experience that or should.
I had a weird call
Brutal.
from there once.
Scary.
Like, the car I had, it was a Pontiac Bonneville.
Right.
Of course it was.
Was sold. Apparently, there was an issue with the title information once the car was sold. Because it was basically just given away.
Of course.
We were done with it.
Right.
And apparently was involved in a chase and was crashed on, I can't remember what street, but it was crashed, involved in a crash and involved in a police chase.
Right.
And at the impound lot, and they're calling, hey, you going to come get your car? It's here and this. And we're like,
We don't.
we haven't had that car for a year or two. What are you talking about? Oh, it's involved in this. I'm like, hey, you got any pictures? I'd like to see what it looks like because it crashed and everything. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of interested now. Oh, did you catch the guy? So there was like all this going on, and it's just random calls. Like, you gonna come get your car from the?
That recently actually happened to me, something similar, where someone had taken the plates off an old vehicle of mine, and that vehicle was later in a car chase with the police, and I think I want to say with the Bridgeton police.
And that's how Travis was shot for the third time.
Right. Surprisingly, that situation could have gone several ways. Somehow it did not end up going a tragic way. But yeah, I absolutely, not only did it happen to me, it's happened to several people. But that's ultimately what I was doing this morning. I was trying to retrieve my vehicle from North County and then make my way down to the city. And then, of course, again, my car hasn't been driven in 3 months, so old girl needed a little.
She wasn't purring right.
She wasn't purring out the gate. I'll tell you that much.
Kind of squeaking a little.
She was kind of stretching it out, trying to get them old knees. You know how it is. You step out of a car, you twist your ankle. It happens to all of the cars.
Go ahead.
So, you know, when you get to that point in your vehicle, you gotta tread lightly, and you know, as well as this pod has done, I don't think any of us can afford a Tesla right now or any brand new vehicle. So I need to make sure that baby is still a purring.
So then, are you gonna be late with an oil change tomorrow?
Here's the thing: I don't need to do those other maintenance things when it comes to my vehicles. I did it before I left for Brooklyn.
Now this is the Impala,
This is the Impala.
the red one.
Oh yeah, Red Dragon, as I like to call it.
Do you?
That's the first I've heard of Red Dragon. There's
Yeah,
been many opportunities.
There's been Black Lightning. There's been Black Caesar. There's been the Blue Wave. But right now I have the Red Dragon.
Do you just name the cars? It all starts with first off what color they are.
It is. Right off the bat. Gotta know it.
Seems like a focus of yours.
Yeah, it is. Because
Interesting.
if we don't see color, who will?
I'm
I
colorblind.
was going to ask that same thing.
Yeah,
What if I'm colorblind?
Well,
I
then.
saw a video of an older fella getting some special sunglasses, seeing color
You know, I
for
tried.
the first time.
I tried some of those at a CBD place in the West End.
How'd that work
Well,
out
that's
for
just
you?
The guy who worked behind the counter
He's just
was
like,
colorblind, and we were talking because
Uh,
I was looking for some suckers.
I think he just gave you something and then was like, yeah, try these sunglasses.
And
And
I'm
they're
like-
only $250
He's
cash.
like, and I guess his associate was like, yeah, the purple ones do this and that. And I'm like, okay, which ones are the purple ones? Because I was trying to differentiate. I don't know. And so he's like, are you colorblind? I'm like, yeah. He's like, me too. He's like, try these glasses.
Do they
So
work?
I'm trying. It was tough in the store, like in certain areas, because like with me, it's a lot of shades.
Interesting.
And so, like, it did provide some clarity on some certain things, but it wasn't like an eye-opening experience for me. But there was a difference, that was for sure. I don't know what I am.
A dog,
Mm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we think about it, if Gardner,
What kind of dog would I be?
nice
Old
little-
sheepdog.
yeah, nice little sheepdog you have
you-
out the farm.
Yeah.
What
maybe
kind
in
of
the
dog would
cowhouse.
you be?
I would probably be a golden retriever.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
We'll assess that. We'll look into. See, but if I put a bunch of thought into it, he flips it and then plays the audio back at an NAACP hearing,
Very likely.
and he's like, "This is how they treat me on my show
Well,
when I was saving a burning building baby on my way
a
in,
burning building baby.
and I happened to walk in at 8:10, and they gave me trouble. Then they called me a dog for an hour.
Is that a good band name? Burning building baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it leaves you wondering: did the baby get out?
Yeah.
Is it now a guitar player?
Sounds like a yacht rock band.
Burning building baby.
Burning building baby.
Keep going.
Burning
No.
building baby.
It's too early.
All right, fine.
Burning. Oh, I never know fun.
Do you see any colors, some colors, or none? Asks Matt in the comments.
Oh, here's something funny. I thought you were trying to find a weird way to transition to a
I as well. I was
to
like,
a live spot.
I was trying to guess the
clicked off.
sponsor. I was trying to guess. I was
That
like,
would've been great.
I was like, I
That was a
think
great
this
one.
is for Gateway Powder Coating.
That's really good. That's great.
I think that's where he's going with this one.
Why leave the people wanting more? If maybe Gardner, do the honors. GatewayPowderCoat.com.
Oh, there it
website.
is.
If Gardner could see, he'd see
Oh God.
all their wonderful
Oh, my.
colors.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
Maybe
Oh,
you
man,
have a
that's
metal
cold.
sign you need touched up. They can do it. You can paint it. You can powder coat it. Gardner, could you see some colors that Gateway Powder Coating could powder coat on your
Yeah,
metal
some,
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not none.
I see white because it's really it's not a color, I guess.
No, it's just dominant.
Actually,
What?
yeah.
GatewayPowderCoat.com, where Gardner can get the best in white powder coating done.
Mm-hmm.
What about old Busch Stadium seats? If they touch those up, would you be able to see the red?
It depends.
What about a smoker getting an all matte finish?
I can see the matte finish, yes, because it's not glossy.
That's right. GatewayPowderCoat.com. Talk to Mark. Tell him Old Blindy sent you.
Oh my God.
Old
Oh,
Blindy.
blindy.
Now
Fast,
that's a
durable,
dog
and
name.
affordable. That's what the ladies called me in New York.
Did they?
How
How many ladies were there in New York?
No comment.
An early fair or foul submission. We'll just
Oh,
do it.
Okay. Okay.
The great
Okay.
Jamie Moyer and his fancy foyer
Okay.
says, fair or foul, two bros sharing a scooter. I saw this on Shaw last night. First of all, I'd like to compliment them on their wafy figure. Me and Trav ain't getting on that scooter
Not
together.
really happening.
So are they bros? Were they middle schoolers? Or were they just malnutritioned adults? Because you got big enough feet, you can barely fit on it yourself, right?
Well, it depends on the
Anything over a
scooter.
size 10, two men? I don't think so.
If you're getting the new Bird scooters, the Bird 1, they have a bigger deck now.
Word?
Just say Bird 1 and it has a bigger deck.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Bird 1.
Okay.
It has a bigger deck, so you can actually.
Matt said you're not finish blind.
Fair. But if you're on those, you could probably get two people on there. Don't know why you would want to though.
Yeah, it seems very dangerous. I don't think they're for two people.
Here's-
Even if you are thin enough, as Chris has described, I don't think those things are for you.
They've
for more
started
than one
to,
person.
Is this some kind of a weird amateur porn situation?
Well, now that'd be a
Like you
great
get one
start.
in
I haven't seen a
Before
video
your
like that
time
before.
expires on the bird
That
scooter?
makes sense.
They've started racing them
A
at,
couple gentlemen just going at it
Well,
on the
not bad.
scooter.
at the local
Why not?
watering hole now.
I'm sorry?
Started going from the bar down to the street stop sign. You have to turn back and.
Who started this? Did the sober guy who's always on a scooter get
No,
this
I've
going?
never done it.
I see this as being an
But I
accomplice
find
to
it to-
murder.
I find it to
when,
be unfair.
not if, when one of these drunkards takes their head through a window. because that's what hangs
What
out
am I
at that
gonna?
bar,
I'm
right?
not going to argue.
Yeah.
Argue with
but
you.
you have to give.
You should say they're adults. That's how I would say.
Oh,
That's how I would.
they're
end it.
adults.
Yeah.
You
Like
got to
that?
give the scooter industry though some credit because, considering the transportation issues that have gone on here in St. Louis, I'm looking at you, Trolley. It's pretty impressive that we haven't had any major incidents with the scooters.
As far as I know, no one's died.
Right. That's very good. That's
Hospitals are, I know several people that work at Barnes where they've actually, someone in particular, a doctor there, is starting to keep a log now.
Of
And
injuries.
it's been
That makes
going on
sense.
for a number of months just so that they can, I mean, it's a good thing to do.
No, you're
want,
gonna have
you
to
want
probably-
data so you know what safety measures you might need to take going
especially
forward.
as it continues to grow here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You certainly want those numbers, and that makes a ton of sense.
Because the one I'm looking at a scooter called, which I hope to purchase here in the next 2 weeks.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's called a 08.
Hey now.
Do we need to set something up where you get some test drives
think
and
that's
No, I would love
Travis,
that. I
and
just
Travis does he's got the white coat on. He's doing the stuff that they act like they do in
Oh.
the Michelin commercials.
yeah,
You
like
know what I'm
I
talking
would
about?
love to test some scooters before
And then it
I
just turns
purchase.
Travis, and then we just trick him and we turn it into it's just a groin shot highlight video.
Nice.
Hey, you ever see a dude on a scooter get hit in the nuts? Watch this idiot.
That would be good content,
I
Gardner.
think that's great content.
good.
Can I wear
Organic
a
growth.
cup?
Yeah, nutshells
No,
out
why
of
would,
Fenton.
why would I want to wear it?
Soft cup.
The metal shelled guy who's like supplies all the athletes, but then he's like, yeah, and Trump.
Does that really work?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was talking. You know what
I've
I'm
been-
talking
I've
about?
been
Didn't
hit-
we interview him?
Interview who?
No,
Nutshells, metal nutshell
not while
guy.
I've been here.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
Oh,
get
the guy
emails
that-
from them still.
The
Yeah.
guy who created like the bulletproof vest cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we could work something out with him.
Well, here's
He's like,
the thing.
all
I've
right,
been
as
hit
long
in the
as
cup.
Gardner holds
Well, you
the
know,
American flag while getting hit in the nuts.
what if I drop the flag? though? I'll
like-
probably drop
What
the
if,
flag.
what if,
and
what if
fall
the
on
shot
it.
takes you to your knee?
Well, yeah, I drop the flag and kneel on the flag, and then it becomes a video that just does not end well for me.
This sounds like a segment that'd be great for MTV in the late 90s. If only there was a show where people got kicked to the nuts and got paid for
Yeah,
it.
I don't need to do that.
Okay.
Because, look, I've been wearing a cup and been hit there before.
Yeah?
It
Don't feel
still
good.
hurts.
Yeah, it pinches. Not a pinch. It's a pinch. It's a deep pinch.
There's a reverb that goes on
Yeah,
with
a lot
that
of
still,
reverb.
too.
Oh, yeah, it's like some 808s in your dick.
Some what?
Some 808s in your dick.
Oh. But the 08 scooter is what I'm looking at. It can go off-roading.
But here's my thing, and I'm glad that's a feature.
I took one off-road the other
Why
day.
do you need to take them off road?
I took a Lime
There's no
scooter.
need
Travis,
for you to take them
off-road.
off road.
You're trying to say like, why do you keep chewing on your paw, dog? Why? Do you expect to get an answer, or are you just saying it to feel better?
That's a good point.
I took
Ask
one
yourself
off-road
that.
in Forest Park. It wasn't for a long time.
I don't want to understand. Listen, pal.
There was a guy on the sidewalk, and I had to go on the sidewalk at this point, so I wanted to just not. Hey, I
But you
went.
treated
was
it
there
probably like a Jeep Cherokee and ran it
No.
off
Was
road,
there a-
didn't you?
I went off-road. There was a
I'll only
downhill.
accept it if there was a cigarette just barely hanging
No, I don't
on to the
smoke.
end of
I
that
take
lip.
it serious when I'm
Okay.
riding.
Barely
gotta
hanging on to the
focus.
end of that lip.
Those are two very important things. that you
Hell
can-
yeah, man.
So I was going downhill, so I thought, oh, it's going to be okay because I won't get caught up in the grass. There's a person on the sidewalk. I'm just going to cut off this angle here and continue on the bike path on the other side.
All right.
So that's all I did.
Here's the thing I wonder about now with these scooters, because you have done a very good job at promoting them. They're very popular here in St. Louis. They're really fun to get around. My question is, how does one look cool on a scooter?
I've never considered that.
Because my thing is, I would
I
like
wear a
to
helmet.
be able. You do.
And I wear a big helmet.
And you
And I got
should.
one that was awkward to particularly not look cool while I was on the scooter.
But that's my thing. I think we're at the point, because that's the only way these things truly take off, if there's a cool element added to it. I would like to be able to be on one of those beautiful babies with one of those cool helmets that you own, riding through the CWE. And I see a pack of ladies, and I'm like, oh, baby girl, what's good? Let me impregnate you. But before I get to that
Well,
point,
that's interesting.
I need to make sure that I look cool, that I look pretty swag.
Okay. Well,
on my
maybe it's
scooter.
maybe
How
it's
does that
just
happen?
you yourself.
Okay.
Maybe we work on. Maybe there's a stance
A scooter stance.
that becomes cool.
Okay.
That evokes that coolness.
Okay.
Maybe that's the first step because that's right. Is it standing straight? Is it like a little hunch?
Okay.
Is there like a side saddle kind of look?
Right.
Legs crossed even.
Right.
You can like dance while you're on it. Maybe there's a stance that we can find that would kind of embrace the coolness.
Okay.
Maybe that's the first step. There was a weird moment yesterday. I was down here at the office and going back to the neighborhood. And remember we showed the picture of Tommy and I saw that guy on that unicycle thing?
Yeah.
I was going down the street and then coming up next to me is a guy on one of those unicycles. So at one point going down Olive is me on an electric scooter and a guy with this big hat on those unicycles, and we were just going next to each other like we were partners in a gang.
Nice.
Just riding along next to each other
is
down
the-
Olive. And I was like, I kind of want to, like, if I could right now, I would pull the phone out and just start videoing this because here I am with this guy, and we just give each other head nods and just keep going, no words spoken, and then just rode along.
You know what that was?
That's how biker gangs start, I think,
I'm about to
and I think
say.
that's how the River to Pear Scooter Club really gets going.
You know what that was? That's the future liberals want.
Right there,
Yeah, that is.
I'm okay with it.
Just men on unicycles and scooters
Electric.
making out with each other as they drive down the street.
That didn't happen.
I mean, come on. You both were on a scooter and a unicycle.
Without riding the
Pretty-
scooter,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have found
pretty-
out this weird thing that's
Pretty
happening
obviously homosexual.
on Olive at Vandeventer, basically. Apparently, there's some sort of birds. Something must be special about them that are in trees there,
Right.
because every time I go by, I wouldn't say every time, but 75% of the time I go by now, there's at least one or two. I've seen upwards of 8 bird watchers underneath these trees taking pictures. One day I saw the 2 Fox News van
Oh, boy.
outside there talking to bird watchers, and then like looking up in the I've never stopped to ask what's going on, but it looked like almost like a cookout in Forest Park for white people here.
I'm glad you
recently.
brought that up, especially about the news covering that. In the city that I lived in, it's called New York. The news wouldn't do stupid shit like that because they had real issues to cover.
But you don't even know what the story is.
It required a news crew to show up and talk to bird watchers.
Yeah.
What could have been so great about that damn story?
What
Exactly.
What if they're the last 2 birds in existence in the world?
Well, you know what?
Okay, all right. Just remember, I'm going to play this for your liberal friends.
Okay, fair enough. Stupid birds should have deep fried their ass.
Okay.
There we go. Go ahead and clip that off.
Okay. Well, there it is. Travis Terrell, Republican hero.
Oh, good God.
Thank you guys for sharing the stream this morning. Going well so far. Everybody's very excited to be here. Weekend was just, whew, you talk about wild.
Well, I tell you what, it was a lot of weekend and that weekend.
You did nothing.
I slept.
Oh, boy,
and
good
slept
God.
and slept.
Oh, did it feel good, too. Oh,
Yeah.
it felt good.
Did you get
Oh,
some-
it felt
Did you
good.
get some batteries recharged?
Oh, did I ever? Nothing like I think, especially for our generation, we really suck at decompressing. Like, we're always on the go. We're always on the move. We always have to be doing something. We have to go to an event. We have to go see a friend. We're always on the move. And it's very difficult to program ourselves to completely decompress. So I'm trying that. I tried that this weekend.
I'm bad at relaxing.
It's very difficult to relax in this day and age. I know I don't want to be the person that talks about, the bad news of the day, but it's very hard to relax in this world some days. Very difficult for one to just simply clear their mind of everything, let alone in your own life and, of course, everything that goes on around it. So I think for me, this weekend was my goal was to just absolutely do next to nothing, not think, and do all of that without getting locked up. Because, when you turn your brain off, you tend to do illegal things.
Well-
Am I the only one, right? I'm like, hey,
Well-
who wants to jump into B&E?
Well,
everyone
that's
has
a problem for me. It's hard to shut my brain off. It starts scrambling. I used to use alcohol to stop it.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Now I live
I
in a
live on the
world where I
fringes of
feel
the
everything and think everything,
Yeah.
and it's rather difficult at times.
You're like a super. You're
Couldn't
like
tell.
you're
You're
like-
the face of
Right.
just continuity and happiness all the time.
you're like a superhero discovering they can get hurt for the first time.
Ow!
Oh,
What's this? Why did I say ow?
This is going to be an adjustment.
Why would you make me feel this way?
But that is, I think, and it's, look, when you're younger, you have the energy, you have the time to go out and visit all these friends and do all these activities. Man, when you get mid-30s, you got to pick your spots. Like, if you're going out, like, you need to, like, there are a lot of questions that are now getting asked before I leave the house. And I don't want to be that guy, but if we're going to have fun.
I thought you were a New York elitist who was out on the town at all times.
Yeah, well, that's what people who are actually
Clocked it out?
important and worth things.
Okay.
And now that I'm back in St. Louis, those people don't exist. And so, like, it's kind of weird. Like, you're trying to go somewhere and you yourself are important, but the people around you are absolutely useless. And so for me, that's kind of like, that's a re-entry issue for me. Like, Travis, Terrell, this, up and coming, fast rising screenwriter that's been respected by a lot of people in the industry. And now I'm having to keep the company of the likes of people who I think just got Wi-Fi in their home a week ago. So that's kind of weird for me.
You know what else is weird? When you try and like trash on a town for just getting Wi-Fi, then you can't say the word Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
I heard Wi-Fi in there.
That's what we call it in New York because we like ride.
Melodica. Melodica.
How about this?
Jean-Baptiste.
Oh.
I did make it out to the History Museum over the weekend.
We've got
You
offers
did.
to shoot these segments, by the way, already. So
Let's
just
not-
so you
let's
know,
not
Media
take those.
Outlaws is all
Let's
over it.
Which segments?
Any of them. Said the flag's required if we do the nut shot, if the nut shot scooter thing.
I
Also,
can see that ending very badly for me.
well, if
I don't need to have a talk
those
with my
nutshells,
dad.
that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny if you do it and then Gardner breaks his neck, but his nuts are intact.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Oh my!
You
Let
God.
me check what my Cigna healthcare looks like here. Thanks, Obama.
Healthcare like we
Fuck
have
you,
those
Holly.
things. Oh boy.
And obviously, thanks to the strong stream, Black Sheep says, yeah, that New York Wi-Fi was real strong. Crystal clear. Crystal clear.
Hold on.
Oh, we got a rant coming.
Listen here, buddy boy. First off, it wasn't my Wi-Fi. Okay? Wi-Fi is a two-way street. All right? Just because you got a distorted view on your end doesn't mean it was my fault that it was distorted in the first place. I expect more out of you, Black Sheep. In fact, I hate to do this. I am kidnapping your white babies.
Oh, no.
You're going to kidnap his twins?
You asked for it, buddy boy. Oh, Black Sheep, I am coming for those babies, and they will be mine. Tell the wife I said hello and good morning.
This is where, Gardner, do you have a drop that would maybe work in this situation?
I didn't want to do this. I was fine. Look, the farm was going to be put on hold. Okay, since I become
The cock farm.
look, since I become this
Just
golden
to reiterate, if you're a new tuner inner, so Travis has threatened.
On my life, I will kidnap a white baby.
allow me to explain.
He's threatened to kidnap babies. He's threatened to start. It's almost a reverse from the 1800s work farm, right? So it's a slave farm.
No,
where
it's not. It's
where
not a
he-
slave farm. They're
where
free to
he
leave
puts it
whenever they
together
want.
with the strongest,
No.
biggest Caucasian pushing the till.
It's like
That's how it
training
works.
camp for children to learn how to enter the labor market as they get older. I cannot, for legal reasons, pay them because that would be considered child labor. So it's sort of like an internship. So
A fellowship.
what'll happen is that I will drive around suburban neighborhoods, predominantly white, and it will probably be a van that may or may not have any windows. And I will politely just say to children on the street, hello, white child. Would you like to
White child?
would you like to go to a place where you can run around for days?
He gets caught because he couldn't help it, but put really nice rims on the van.
Can you describe the vehicle? Yeah, it's one of those old vans, those painter vans. It's white, no windows. Funny thing is,
clean.
it had about 18-inch rims on them.
They were clean, man.
I think they were chrome.
And it had an HPCU sticker in the back. I don't know why.
In the back of your van, you've got electric scooters to take home to charge to make extra money.
Yeah,
You kids.
that's true. That's
Not
true.
a bad idea.
Huh.
I go
So you're gonna go through. You're gonna go through.
So
with
no,
this
Black
plan.
Sheep. I was fine. I was just like, you know what? I'm good. I'll just give it to some of my friends who live in the Middle East. Maybe they'll like the plan.
Middle East.
And so I was like, I don't want to.
What do you know about the Middle East?
And so I was like, I was going to hit to put it on the hold, put it on the back burner, as the young people say. But now Black Sheep has, I'm just saying, man.
So you're gonna steal his twin children.
I am.
Okay.
And they're twins. That's what makes it even better. That is just, just imagine when the race war breaks out and then they show up. You're like, what are you going to do? They're white twins. Ain't nothing you can do, baby.
But will they be lined up? Like if they're
No
hanging
doubt.
around you,
Oh,
like
no
will they
doubt.
have like a?
They're going to have the three
thin
lines in the
beard?
eyebrow.
Don't you think if you were walking around with white babies that someone would call the cops on you?
No.
I'd hope so. By
No.
God.
Because they'll see me, and what I will do to cover my tracks, I'll just hover around a heavyset white woman. Like, that must be their kids. Oh, that must be theirs. Okay,
Right.
I see now. I get it.
He stands by every four-door Dodge Neon.
Yep. Just hang out on Main
He's
Street
like,
in St.
yeah,
Charles.
yeah,
No
I
one will know
borrowed
the
it from
difference.
her.
Like, ah! Well, we can't say
Yeah,
anything. 'cause
I borrowed it from her. I didn't take the fluffy dice out of the mirror, and yes, I'm listening to my music and mean mugging you like I was in a black Charger, but I'm in a purple four-door Dodge Neon.
Can we?
Was that your favorite thing to see, Travis?
There's nothing.
When the bruz got her car?
Everybody though, but everybody. I see some white guys driving sorority cars around. Like
think so?
That's
Yeah.
like tri-delts in the
Yeah.
back, and I go, hold on, bro.
You go, who hasn't?
I've been there. I know she at work. I know she at work. Hey,
you told her you were just running by your parents real quick.
You said
You're
you're gonna-
clearly cruising.
you gonna run some errands, but you gonna do some day drinking all day while she at work in her car. I know it. Hey, man, I feel you there. Hey, and guess what? When you go pick her up, you ain't gonna put no gas in it, is you?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, I see
You're
your
gonna
play.
have to stop on the way home because you're running
Hey,
out of
hey,
gas.
baby girl. Hey, babe, can we get some gas? I
Hey,
meant to do it
got your
today,
card?
but
I'll
I got
pump.
busy. Yeah,
I'll pump.
yeah. I got your card. I'll pump.
I know who you people are. I watch you.
I'm coming for the twins, Black Sheep. I'm coming for them soon.
How's
I
how's
did-
that tan holding up? Still dark Trav in the house.
I know, man. Look at this. Dark chocolate, milkily diddy.
What?
Milkily. I'm
I don't know
milkily
if that's a
diddy.
thing.
I'm chocolate and milkily.
I wanted to see if we're gonna make videos. Can we just borrow Black Sheep's twins and let them hang out with Travis on Main Street in
would
St.
be-
Charles
that'd be
and
pretty
see?
cool.
We could run a clock and see how long it does take for the cops to get called on you.
That would be interesting.
We have a theory.
Especially when the kids are just like screaming, "Help! Help! This isn't my father." That will probably
And then yell
But-
back at the kids, but use the N-word when you're yelling at them.
30% funnier.
Negro, shut up.
Uh huh.
I don't know why he called the white children Negroes.
Right.
Why he just told them the.
Matt in the comments says they wouldn't call the cops until he addressed them as, "Hello, white child." That would be what we call a tell.
Yeah.
Right?
I would probably.
Seth wants Travis.
Hello, white baby.
Sir, you're not even trying.
What's
What
their
are the
names?
kids' names? What are they named?
White babies.
Ethan,
Cohen.
Aiden. Sir, these are clearly girls. As I said,
Yeah, Ashley. And
Maiden, Raiden,
Mandy.
Caden.
Jordan.
You're literally just naming the Saved by the Bell college year cast now, sir.
Screech.
Travis, eat some acid with me, and I swear you'll write some of the best segments for Sesame Street the kids have ever seen. That's Seth. Seth, you doing some acid? Anybody here done acid?
No, I know people.
Same.
I
You
did
know.
meet. Wait, what? We're segueing into you knowing people who do acid?
Like now, this minute, probably.
Oh, okay.
Do we trust Sean's journeys into acid realms?
I've seen
See,
Sean on
Whether it's see, like you have these misconceptions growing up, and you're like, "Oh, the shithead kids do acid." Then now you kind of look into it, you're like, "I don't know, maybe it's there's a lot going on with some of
But
the
doesn't
stuff
it-
we don't look at that's pretty helpful, actually, like the mushroom stuff and PTSD treatment, depression treatment, all this
People
crazy
use
stuff.
mushrooms now. They do just small bits and do it on a daily basis, actually.
Yeah, it's like, why is so-and-so not suck anymore? Oh, he's on that shroom treatment, man. That's not even a joke.
And I can't remember exactly what they call it, but there's a name for doing that.
Psilocybin?
And no, it's something.
We're literally
silver.
putting up the Hoosier Sophisticate call letters right now. They're about to jump in our mentions. Let
They
us
really
know, guys.
are, yeah.
Love
I
those
know-
guys.
I
Pucky's
know-
going to come through, literally
Yeah,
run through
yeah.
the
He's
door.
like, did somebody say psycho drug? Like, yes, that's how it's
I
going to
know
work.
2 people that do the mushroom thing now.
Like as a pill form.
Like a
What's-
they
Microdose.
yes, they do microdose. That's it.
Is that-
That's
so
it.
what's the
I'm
street
saying
term
little
for-
words I've learned on Rogan.
What's the street term? And it's man, it's so,
That's it.
yeah,
I'm
I can
done.
tell.
Boy.
I was like, man, Chris knows certain specifics
yeah.
about psychedelics. Oh,
I got a whole.
he only watches 18 podcasts where they discuss that in the first 20
Oh,
minutes.
I'll listen. I've listened to more 3-hour, and not just on Rogan. If people are just talking about ayahuasca or anything, I'll just listen.
Somebody
I'll just
asked
listen
me
to it.
in
I'll
the-
listen to it.
Somebody in the water, asked me over the weekend, "Hey, do you listen to Rogan?" I started laughing, and I go, "No," and I walked out to go smoke.
Man,
I just started laughing at him, and I just walked out.
our guy Kevin,
Nothing. Is that the new tell?
our boy,
Is that the new
our
social
boy,
tell? Like
our
they're
boy in
struggling.
Southern California just helped us out, by the way. Shout out to Kevin in California, man. Or Kelvin, I should say.
What do you say?
He said microdosing. I didn't see it.
Is that the
but,
cool way of saying acid? The reason why I've never done acid because I don't like the term acid.
Yeah,
There-
no, I think that's a huge.
I think that's
thing.
a huge
If
reason why I've never
If it was
tried
called
it.
like brain jumper, you'd be like, oh, okay,
Yes,
all
yes.
right,
If you
we'll
like
see
call
what
it
we
like
got.
Looper, like the
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, yeah. If it does that, let's do it.
That's why they say like fat is so, like fat. It's like a bad thing.
I've
Whereas
seen
if you-
Sean on acid at a wedding reception.
Well, see, I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
That was something.
What does acid do?
See, I think you're tapping into stuff that's already there, and then it kind of lets you do something. Like the more you look into this stuff, it is a damn
I can-
crime the way they've
I can
treated
ask 'em.
these drugs and everything else.
I feel like there's a window though for you to do certain drugs. So
Like,
like now
I go-
Sean can
No,
do it
no, no.
again now.
I go over to his place to record.
No,
and
I
he-
think-
And he's like, "You need anything? Glass of water? I got some Molly."
Shrooms.
Oh, well, okay.
See, no, it's just like anything. If you were to say,
I got some
got
Molly.
some
What
Molly.
a
All right.
jump from
All right.
coffee,
Let's-
water, Molly.
let's cut to an important meeting you're having, and the two of you are sipping some Gentleman Jack, right? Maybe it loosens everybody up just a little bit, and some things get done, and two calmer voices come together, and it gets done, right? There's also the version where Chris Gardner drinks the whole bottle of Gentleman Jack
Yep.
and ends up sleeping under a dumpster in Forest Park.
Very likely.
There's not a lot of dumpsters
04?
in Forest Park.
My point is,
I've slept by a
if Sean's-
dumpster in the neighborhood before.
I don't know that Sean is our. Should we be thinking about Sean when we talk about, hey, mushrooms are probably not that big of a
Well,
deal?
here's the deal. If you want to know what drugs do to you, name a drug.
Mm-hmm.
We can ask Sean what it did to him. Like, come up with a list. I know he smoked crack. I've smoked crack.
I just want him to break down the feeling that it
He
ultimately
had to leave New
will
Mexico because of meth.
create. Okay, see now that's
when you get into
that's what meth does. Meth.
He's done Angel dust. I mean,
If you were
he's-
pitching a
he's
commercial,
done drugs.
if you were pitching a commercial, that's what I want. That's the first line I want. I want the line. It's so damn good. It forces you to leave your life and go to another city. That's what I want out of my
he
drugs.
left New Mexico to go back to a safe haven in Chicago.
Now that's a pitch. Now this was a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl. Guess what, baby? Throw all the acid my way, cause I want it. I need when you pitch a drug, it's all about the name. So that's why acid for me. I would like the acid community to get together. Maybe
I
come
think you
up with
probably
something.
just tune into WGNU tonight and listen to Hoosier Sophisticate. Shout out to those guys.
Like if you were like puppy water. That sounds cute.
LSD even,
I'll
because
do puppy water.
when I think of LSD, I think of just like the government forced tests and stuff like that. where
LSD
it's
got to
one of
get a
those
new
things-
name. Got to
Yeah,
be
thanks,
like.
thanks to Ted Kaczynski. He was part of those trials, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. You got to call like LSD like macaroni and Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
I love both.
Where did
Right,
you learn
so-
Ted Kaczynski might have been part of those trials?
I think he was.
Where'd you learn it from?
Where'd you learn?
Probably NPR.
Oh.
Really? Was there any other type of broadcast that was on at the time?
Hey, it was one of Sam Harris's podcasts.
I like how
Because
Chris.
it just sounded like a...
We should test
Sounds like
this.
something that people would get super high and talk about for 4 hours.
Yeah. It just sounded...
While
you delivered
while
that
me, who can't get anything done unless I just have calmness in my brain, just scoots about the home and
I
you
scoot
think,
too.
Okay.
Let's,
Gotcha.
let's make this a little bit fun.
Acid gives you a euphoric effect along with a relaxing body high. It also makes the room look like it's melting. LOL. Don't put it's the
Nope.
room's melting.
And then don't
with
put
an
LOL at the end.
No. If you start seeing little elves that are kind of mad,
Well,
like that can get
shrooms will
weird.
do that to you.
You start stabbing random children. LOL. Wait, what?
I had a friend who did shrooms on a float trip, and he remembered thinking that the river was flooding and coming at us.
That'll do it.
And then Alf Calculator was talking to him. So, like,
See,
it's
I
gonna-
don't.
See, that's a thing too. And then you got those guys. Remember the two dudes? What were they? MMA training partners or something? And one, it's not funny at all. He like cut his eyes out or his heart out or something.
no.
And they blamed it. And they're like, "Yeah, he was tripping." And I'm like, I think maybe that. Let's not blame the acid on that one.
Was it?
I don't.
Was
Do you
that a
remember
bath
that?
salt one?
No, I think
Oh.
it was.
It sounds like one of those bath salt ones.
That was well done. Now that was
I
brilliant
don't know.
marketing.
I don't know if Sean's done that.
That was good marketing though, because for a second, a lot of housewives were going, "Okay, all right, it's go time." But then we learned, oh no, you chew people's faces off when you take it.
Yeah.
But they had a good run early because you named it bath salt. So
Yeah.
that's what the LSD and acid
It
community
sounded
need to do.
pleasant, like it was a bubble bath.
Right.
That's like what you got.
That's why I think marijuana why it works, because first of all, marijuana
Here you go.
sounds fancy, like somebody like some of the
Sounds
Spanish girls used
exotic.
to date in high school.
May I? Marijuana. You know why that's called marijuana?
Why?
It's made up to make white people scared. That was William Randolph Hearst, the paper guy. Did that to make it sound more exotic. And
Where'd
he
you
said
hear that?
black
Can
people,
you source
black
that? Where'd you hear that
people,
from?
black people, and Hispanic people were raping people, and they used it in marijuana.
Can you source that?
Yeah.
Who are you citing on this?
High Times. Because you know my magazines. I be reading.
Chris is the only person who knows the most about these drugs that he does not do.
I find the
Wonder why.
conversation interesting.
Chris
Where
will-
else can I hear about the cosmos and how to sink in a rear naked choke? Where else?
That's my favorite part. You can tell Chris is like, I ain't doing no drugs, but I'm more than happy to continue to hear about it.
I'll listen.
Oh, there's a clip I'm pulling for. I came up with a whole new segment off a clip that I heard. Here's Rogan arguing with a black comic for reparations, my man. He was putting the black comic in his place a little bit about it's like, well, here's how this works. And it was I came up with a whole new segment that we'll debut soon.
Oh, nice.
On it.
Boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Joe Rogan want to give me money?
Send him your
Okay,
Venmo.
give him the camera 4, please.
That's not camera 4.
3.
Here, there you go.
Allow me to subscribe to the Joe Rogan podcast. Beep, boop, beep, 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 boop.
That's all it took. You selfish fuck.
I start coming in now the next few days.
He's got an on it
I'm
t-shirt
just saying,
on.
Rogan made some points.
Right. Yep.
He made some points.
I just.
Why
I
are you
love
saying
it.
this? I'm trying to get paid.
Trying to get that money, baby.
I was actually ballparking not ballparking, but thought showering. A new movie idea, like a mockumentary. Here's what's happened recently. I go into a coffee shop a couple times a week in the
Don't let
afternoon.
me forget. I have that link pulled up.
Okay. I go a couple times a week, and in the afternoon when I go in there, I guess we must have the same schedule in terms of going to this coffee shop. But I see
Joe Rogan.
local billionaire Rex Sinkfeld
Oh,
here a
shit.
couple times a week now.
Why hadn't he invested in Midcoast yet, man? I know he didn't have anything else going on
So
now. I won't get sent to prison.
I had mentioned that to
I
someone.
hope.
They're like, "You see him where?" I'm like, "I see him at the coffee shop like 2 or 3 times a week now. He comes in the afternoon and just
Right.
he actually chats with the baristas and that for a minute." And I haven't trolled him yet or anything. Like nudge him and say, "Hey, maybe we are better off not together." Something like that. So I haven't done anything like that yet.
Cut to Gardner. He's got a little book he writes down as Rex Sinkfeld sings in. Sinkfeld, not like that sinkhole, right? Huh? You know what I'm saying, Rex?
We were thinking, I don't know how we got on it, but I think someone had mentioned, isn't that Sinkfeld Cup coming up, which is a chess tournament coming up later this month. Because he's involved in all that. He's got
By the way,
all that Hall of Fame.
was anybody else ever, as someone who didn't grow up here and probably became aware of the Chess Hall of Fame and all that stuff way after everyone else did, finding out who was behind that really just like it checked off this box in my head. I was
Mike
always
Patino?
so confused how or why the funding for this would come up, and then it all laid.
People with
So
money.
it was just one of those things where I was like, oh my
But
God, now I know why.
We wanted to tie it into chess, but it was like mockumentary, like Best in Show kind of deal. Because I was like, yeah, we just do that whole same formula. New play-by-play guy comes from a different sport, doesn't know what the F's going on, and so he uses other phrases from another sport or has some catchphrase, we're playing chess, not checkers, whatever like that. But the protagonist would be Sean, and he would frustrate other players because the more he drank, the more unpredictable he would become, and he's just like an idiot savant, and he'd be like, oh, that's a nice move there. What am I gonna do? Oh, checkmate! And then just like whistling, and so his spinach as Popeye is as he drinks more, he gets better and better at chess.
Love that.
And then maybe the foil is someone replaces his drinks with water, and there's no alcohol around, and he has to try and function with it.
I like this.
But the only way he can compete and play the game is with alcohol. And he gets better and better the more he drinks.
This sounds like Denzel in Flight. This sounds like Denzel. The only way he was able to be a magnificent pilot or just to function is to be completely loaded. Have you seen Flight?
Well, I have not.
I know the premise.
I've heard stories in real life
It's
of
always
pilots
assumed
that
no,
think that at least.
Travis, yeah. Well, then there's also you had, what was it, Homer when he was the boxer? Did he do? No, he would just take hits.
So
but
we're
was he
just-
drunk?
There was one
Probably.
where he would get drunk and he would do amazing feats. Like
Yeah.
he could get drunk and he would become a savant. I forget what episode that was, but I believe
There
they
was
did
one where he's
that.
the
There are literally
mascot.
17,000
I was gonna say,
Simpsons
we could come up
episodes.
with
I'm sure
any
we
million
Right.
of
So
them
we're
are
pulling
premises.
from all these different areas. Well, it's nothing original necessarily.
But you would
But
like
it's
to see
just
it.
told a different
That's
way, and we're using something that locally we've all had. Like, how did this happen, Chris? You had it. I think we all have that.
Yeah.
With the chess thing here in St. Louis. Like, how did this all happen?
Sometimes,
so,
yeah.
So we localize it in a way. We're taking that story and we're just adding our own little touch to it.
Speaking of touches, from 2010. After taking psychedelic mushrooms, a California man gouged out his MMA training partner's heart, eyes, and tongue, all while he was still alive. Witness testimonies detail the two men's increasing
seems
paranoia
impossible.
as it spiraled out of control. Alive can mean a lot of things.
Okay.
Alive can mean despondent, but your heart's still, kicking.
So he
And
didn't take
somehow-
the heart first then.
On March 21st, Jared White of Crescent City, California, killed his friend Taylor Powell after they'd both drank mushroom tea. Powell was found without most of his face and a large incision in his chest. Wyatt told arresting officers that he had cut out Powell's heart and burned it because he thought Powell was possessed by the devil. Thank you, organized religion. That much we know. The rest is a hazy collection of bizarre, disjointed remembrances because all the witnesses were hallucinating heavily, but it's possible to put together a coherent timeline. So we don't need to read the rest of that. That was from Deadspin, 2002. When's the last time you checked Deadspin?
Well, last time you had mushroom juice.
Never.
Mushroom tea. Now you could argue
I've never
that
tried
they
it.
don't know what they got. Like somebody may have worked something into that stuff. Because anytime you hear
Well,
like
that's
mushroom, isn't
something.
mushroom tea just that's what usually chills people out, right? Like
I don't-
people, your
Is
eyes.
that
get,
I don't have a
your
great
eyes get
Are
big,
they
there's a
saying
lot of
that's
hugging.
are they concluding that was the cause of cause of the attack?
It seemed that way initially, at least.
Seems
I'd
like
like to-
that's a convenient
I would like to-
fallback for
Yeah,
someone that
it's-
may be
What-
psychologically
yeah.
troubled.
At 1,000,000%.
What would
Thank
help-
you, white America. I
Well-
appreciate that. Look
Well-
at you.
What would help would be have maybe some follow up if we could. Maybe we could look into that at some
Call
point.
the guy in San Quentin.
Well,
I mean,
Think
was
he's
that?
taking
it
calls?
seems like a topic
Was that like some almond
someone
milk in there?
would
or-
have written about and followed up on.
Now,
Just-
I think it's so horrific and so like this doesn't seem right. Like where you would go through that. What if you talked to this guy and he did have a 2-hour psychotic episode mixed in with some weird shrooms, and he's just a normal guy, and he had this one thing that happened when he was 21, mind you, and he woke up and now he spends every day
that's
in
frightening.
prison. That's scary.
Yeah.
Right.
That's frightening.
That's the
I
best
think
say
that's
no to
what-
drug ad you can
Yeah.
come up with, though, right?
Oh, that's taken right from the whatever the mad version of like narcotics is or something, right? Even though that's not a narcotic, you know what I mean? Like if there was a PSA group that would stand up
Yeah.
for drug victims
That's
or
the
something.
thing is like when you start tying everyone together, That's always a
That's
dangerous.
not, again, too, like, yeah,
you gotta
I want
be
to chip
able
away
to
at this more.
identify what.
Let's get him
particular
to video
drugs
in
do.
from wherever he's living out his days.
Maybe he got not guilty.
Please.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We only know we know the
I'm
initial
about to say,
portion of the story.
I mean, let's start off first off.
That's
what they
I need
liked.
more
They were
information
probably
to-
not guilty.
Like there could have been more that came out after the fact.
Yeah, could have been
Like what, his lungs?
Maybe he was like, I was hungry. That's always a good self-defense.
Is it?
I was hangry.
Yeah. You know what? That is relatable. That's
yeah.
not bad.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there.
eat your heart out.
Looks good. Well,
Got some seasoning on it.
when you're done tearing into your friend's
Oh
chat,
boy, this is gonna be interesting.
be sure to visit Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Big shout out to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Food truck,
man.
locally owned, locally
What are you
sourced.
doing?
They fly in the best food for all the best Hawaiian dishes. That's right, musubi, poke, and the like. Stop by Buzz's. Let them know We Are Live sent you. He'll be super happy to see you. You can check out their locations on their Facebook page. Very, very easy to find throughout town. Wonderful people. Family-owned Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Big thanks to Tech Electronics for supporting us, this wonderful studio. Oh, look at Travis's face. Check that out. Tech Electronics is a local tech company from right here in St. Louis. They can do everything from emergency services coordination to IT infrastructure. That's right. TechElectronics.com is where you find them. Midwest grown, and they're all over the place, guys. Check them out, TechElectronics.com. We'll take a quick break. We're live from Midcoast Studio in St. Louis, Missouri.